so happy, my hair so nappy, had an afro.
Yo guys, what's up? It's Arsenal versus Chelsea. Team sheet is right over here. And so let's get right into it. David Ray in goal. Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu. Thank you. Mikel Arteta. Thank you. That's your back four and your goalkeeper. In the midfield, it's Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, and finally Thomas Partey. This is the three midfield players that we've been waiting all season to watch. And finally, at this stage of the season, in a London derby, you get the three musketeers, the new three centurions. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Again, thank you, Mikel Arteta. Up front on the left, you've got Trossard, which I prefer to Martinelli, and Jesus has been dropped. Obviously, his form has just not been good at all. He's not scoring goals. He's not really doing that much. Positionally, I think Havertz, and I said it before, he should be your number 9 for the rest of the season. No arguments. He's given you so much more on the top end. And this is a team, Chelsea, that really let him down last year, and he wants to score tonight. So look forward to Havertz having a big game. And then our boy, star boy, who's tired, Saka, is on the right. Now, I probably would have started Reece Nelson in today's game, but let's see what actually happens. Let's see if he brings it. I don't think he's got enough energy to bring, but nonetheless, an improvement on the team sheet, Mikel Arteta. That one is, thank you very much. That's for you. And overall, what have I got to say about this whole thing? Well, today, obviously, must-win game. Every game now is a must-win game. And the only advantage Arsenal have in this run-in is that 3 of their last 5 games are at home. 2 of Liverpool's last 5 games are at home. And for Manchester City, 2 of their last 6 games are at home. So the advantage, and in terms of home crowd, definitely goes to Arsenal. And this is where I thought that it might be a bit of a disadvantage for Manchester City, because having to play 4 away games in your last 6, that means that you really don't have the backing of your fans. The hostility is going to be there, and all those teams are going to be fighting for something. Whether it's in order to try and beat the drop or not get relegated, or trying to get into Europe. So everybody's going to want to improve. So Man City are going to have their own battles, but right now all we could do is look after ourselves. So how does it match up? So for me, this is a little bit of a disparity on where we went right last season and what's not worked for this season. And one of the things that went right last season is London derbies. Arsenal, 12 games in the London derbies last season, 10 wins and 2 draws. So last season in London, they were unbeaten. They scored 10 more goals than any other team in that matchup, in the London matchup, and they were the only team to had let in less than 10 goals. So as far as London's concerned, last season, Arsenal dominated it, and no team beat them. This season, different. They lost to Fulham, and they lost to West Ham. They dropped points against Tottenham, but we're going to have to make up for that when we go to their place of the weekend. So as far as London's record overall, it's been pretty good. And for Chelsea, the Cole Palmer situation, that's going to have to look after itself, and I'll come on to that later on as I walk to the stadium. But I think here today, I'm still going for 2-0 Arsenal. I think that it's going to be a game that we're going to have to come out of the blocks and control early. We're going to have to be on the front foot. No back foot in this game. We cannot simply just come out and then play at a level 2, gear 2 tempo. We have to come out just kind of like we did against Villa, but be wary. Against Villa, we ran our legs off. We ran ourselves out. We punched ourselves out, essentially. And so I don't want you to do that in the first half now. I think you should temper and manage the way that you play. And I think with a fast start, and if you don't get a goal in the first 10, 15 minutes, then you can start to slow the game down a little bit and then try to take control in the latter stages of the game. But an early start would do really well here. This is a game last year that Martin Odegaard got man of the match and dominated. He got the 2 goals from the same angle, and it ball coming in from the left, and then he one-footed it and controlled it brilliantly. First one was top left corner, and the second one was bottom right corner. And so just absolutely fantastic performance from Martin Odegaard. We're going to need him to do that again today. Right, guys, so what does the team sheet actually mean for us? Well, what it means is this is Thomas Partey's 5th start this season. 5th start. Could you imagine that we're on the tail end of April, towards the end of the year, and Thomas Partey has just made his 5th start? And also a big shout out to Urian Timber with that goal that he scored earlier on in the week. And I'm hearing it may be another 10 days before they even think about giving him a shot in the first team. But don't be surprised if he makes the bench against Spurs. Moving on, guys, Cole Palmer, he's not even on the bench here for Chelsea. And they kind of knew the writing was on the wall about what was going on with him. And for him not being there, and he brings them a lot. I mean, the amount of goals and assists that he's had this season, he is their talisman. And the fact that he's not there, Jackson doesn't give them enough. You know, he's not going to really be that involved today. And Raheem Sterling has 8 goals, 8 assists. Shout out to you, cuz. And he's on the bench. So I know he's had a bit of a layoff as well. So Chelsea offensively don't really have that much. They're going to have to use that very expensive $250 million midfield to try and keep them in the game. Enzo, Casado and all them guys are not very progressive players. So look for Arsenal to really get at them early on and then try and take this game by the scruff of the neck. If we go in with a lead, then we're probably in good stead. And I talked about the fast start they had when Martin Odegaard scored them 2 goals last season. The game is here and ready for us to take it by the scruff of the neck and bring this one home. So I'm going to stay with my 2-0 and then we'll have to see how that works out. But it's there. The moons are aligning, guys. It's all set up for us to do the business.
Blair, 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 King. Skin black, come feel there. Rock a bandana like Tupac, I've been there. Rock a do-rag or wave cab, I lay my. This hair so thick, I rock my. Yeah, 4A so thick, hair long as. But my hair be shrinking when water touch that shit, and my shit be sinking.
So guys, what you just saw there was the North End collection. And I've got something to say about it. So a couple of months they launched the Hale End collection. And that was kind of okay, but the colours was a very turquoise green and a very dull grey. And so it didn't really take off. And also the Invincibles, there's a Invincibles tag that they've got, they've done a range for that as well. And the same thing kind of applied there, is where the colours didn't really snap, they didn't really grab the fans. And this new range that they've got here, which is the North Bank, the same thing applies. And the colours is very, very bright cream and a very navy blue, very un-Arsenal like, and it just doesn't look good. And not just that, but the designs in terms of fashion, it doesn't really pull itself off. So for me, I think that unfortunately those 3 brands are really, really bad and they're not selling well. When I came here last week, I think they had 20% off on all the Hale End stuff because that's just not moving. So I think in this regard, look, let's shout out to Adidas. They've done a fantastic job for Arsenal, broken all kinds of records with the sales of their jerseys. But unfortunately, with these 3 brands, Invincibles, Hale End and North Bank, it just hasn't worked. It just hasn't worked. You kind of think to yourself, you wouldn't be seen on the street wearing anything like that because it just doesn't pop. Maybe the Hale End with the turquoise green, maybe that kind of works, but everything else they have in other ranges, it just doesn't work. So I just thought I'd show you some footage on that so you can see what the new range is all about. You can check it out on the website as well. But yeah, for me, that's a big no. Yeah, what's going on, guys? Half time, Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0. Now, if I'm Arteta, I'm going to be pretty frustrated simply because you've just not finished your chances. It's kind of reminiscent of the first half against Villa, but you've just been so wasteful on the back end. I mean, I'm just wondering how much a game like this would suit someone like Eddie Nketiah. We've seen Jesus just been wasteful. We've seen Havertz been pretty wasteful today. You think when Eddie's in those situations, he'll shoot on sight. And let's not forget that Eddie got 2 goals against this lot when we beat them 4-2 and got man of the match. And I think it's probably time for a little bit of a change-up. Things are looking a little bit stale there. I think maybe the occasion is probably too big for Havertz because it's his old team. He just doesn't look like the same player today. Saka, another concern for me. Saka just not getting into the game. A few good times he's been lined up against Cucurella, taking him on one-on-one. But for me, he's just too isolated. You can't do too much from where he is, and it needs to be more centrally if he's going to get something out of this game. There was a cross from Trossard that went in from the left, perfectly planted for someone to run into the box and head it in. And Cucurella beats him there twice on the bounce. It just seems that step behind, like there's a level of disinterest coming from Saka. And honestly, I would have started Reece Nelson in this game, or even put Jesus on the right. But it just doesn't feel right at the front three, very wasteful. In terms of Chelsea though, I did warn everybody about Chelsea when I talked about them in the preview. The thing about Chelsea is, guys, you fix that XG and Chelsea are 4-5th in this league. But the reason is they can't score. They can't hit a barn door with a banjo. And tonight, situations have happened. Reyes made 3 crucial saves. But again, Chelsea just being wasteful on the third end. The build-up play from Chelsea has always been good this season. It's what happens when they get in front of goal and then they can just completely capitulate and choke. And they've done that here today. And quite frankly, we've got to be thankful for that, because had that not been the case, I could easily see this game be 2-1 or even 1-1 at half-time. But I mean, for us guys, I think substitutions are probably needed early. Declan Rice, we've been begging for that midfield, haven't we, all season long? The Partey, the Odegaard, the Rice. Partey looks exceptional. He's pretty much owned the midfield. He's doing what it says on the tin. Best transitional player in the Premier League. Our best player last season, Thomas Partey, and today he just looks complete class. He's owned in the midfield. Odegaard, again, running his tail off, making things happen in the build-up play, but we know he's tired. We know he's gassed, and there's a North London derby coming up, so the second goal really needs to come. But I just would like to see a few changes. Maybe Nketiah, maybe Smith Rowe coming on, and then Martinelli as well. Trossard's got himself booked, so that's not going to help. Good thing though is Chelsea's got both of their fullbacks booked. So maybe we should start running at them and see if we can create a little bit more chaos and then get the referee to produce a second yellow against Chelsea. That's it for me. I'm still going for 2-0, guys. That was my prediction. Speak to it full time. Well, there you have it, guys. Arsenal 5, the Smurfs 0, and that was a well and true demolition job. I don't think in all the time I've been here that I've seen Chelsea get crushed like that in the time I've been a season ticket holder since the stadium opened, and it's just pure jubilation from me. I mean, I thought that they was going to have a chance to swipe them today, but the quality just showed, and you could see that it was half-time adjustments Arteta made on the front line. He wanted the ball to move quicker. He wanted players to get in those positions, because in the first half, the ball was coming through there. We either had no support or there was nobody in there on running into the balls being available in the final third. And so a little bit of adjustments from Arteta, and then you saw that it was pretty evident at the beginning of the second half how those changes influenced the game. And honestly, Chelsea just been blown away. It's probably the worst loss this season for them, and it just fills me with nothing but joy to see a team with crap history and absolutely bought everything that they've ever had at a time when football was football. But listen, I don't mind that now. You have to spend to survive. It is what it is. That's the way of the world right now. But I just want to talk about my player of the game, and actually my 3 players who played really well. Number 1, I don't have to talk to you about Martin Odegaard. You know everything you need to know about what is, in my opinion, the best number 10 in the Premier League right now. Kevin De Bruyne has not been able to achieve his numbers for creativity, and it's not that Kevin De Bruyne was injured, of course he was, but last year when he wasn't injured, Odegaard still created more chances than him. So the reason why I think this is a brilliant one is because Odegaard has proven again that last season was not a fluke. He's got 11 goals, he leads the league in chances created again, and he's just a god among kings, he is. And listen, I just have to pure respect for Martin Odegaard. It's a shame because Declan Rice will get all the accolades for player of the season, but really I think it should go to Martin Odegaard. Second for me has got to be Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu 100% was on it today. He did everything. He supported in the final third. He gave Trossard that extra man to build his triangles and make those decoy runs. And then he got in the middle, got involved. He defended really well. That is the reason why I said from number one that Tomiyasu should be your starting left back. And look, Timber's coming back soon. So then the question would be, again, against Ben White and Tomiyasu. And I'm only picking one player there. So let's go to my man of the match. My man of the match is Thomas Partey. Last season's best player for Arsenal, and he comes in today and he's just a field commander. Nothing got past him. I mean, the sheer stature of the man in the midfield, the control he had on the game, and nobody could get the ball off him. And listen, this was his 5th start of the season. Only 5 starts. And he's come in, they took him off actually to rest him against Tottenham. He's going to explode and detonate against Tottenham on the weekend. And today's performance just summed up everything you need to know about Thomas Partey. One word, transition. Everything you needed to see from him. He picked up the ball in those tight areas. No one took the ball off him. He wasn't depossessed. He has the ability to hold, the ability to see what's going on and make that pass. And he spreads the ball around better than anyone we have in the midfield. And boy, we really missed that. And with the talent on today, with Rice, Odegaard and Partey, for me, that's the best midfield in the Premier League. And the table doesn't lie. I mean, our goal difference right now, I think we're 12 goals ahead of Man City or something like that. But as I said, I think overall for me, today was a sign that you have to use your home field advantage, and you've got to use that in the best way possible because of the 3 home games we have in the last 5. So listen, we've done our job. Now we wait till tomorrow night and see what happens. Speak to you guys later, man. Brilliant result tonight.
We made it this far, so I can't complain. Let's take, let's take a trip down memory lane.